Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Gramps, and today we are going to be doing part 4? Is it episode 4? Do you know?
Episode 4,
I think it's the fourth episode of the BS Podcast. Now, as you can tell, I'm joined by me once again, but also the other co-host that is always here all the time, my dad. I'm joined with him. So, hi, Dad. Hi.
Hi, Pops.
Hi. Okay. So,
hi, Gramps. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good. So, guys, as you can tell, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Brawl Stars scene. All right, and and we're just gonna talk about them because for one, we got like an update, then we got like more stuff that we're gonna talk about, but I'm not gonna introduce it now. But there's just crazy stuff happening in Brawl Stars. Some of it might be a troll, some of it might not be a troll. I hope it's still recording. It probably is.
It is.
And yeah, so we're just gonna talk about them. So, with that short intro out of the way, Dad,
yes.
Let's get the elephant out of the room.
Okay.
I haven't posted a real video in so long.
In a very long time.
I've only been either posting memes of Brawl Stars or I've been posting a compilation.
Yeah, you've had a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, just because I find it making like memes and posting compilations are way easier than just filming. Especially I'm in between getting editing softwares because I no longer have the opportunity to work with my old editing software, but you guys don't care about that. Anyway, so that's the elephant out of the room. This is going to be my first original actual episode of something. But now with that out of the way, let's talk about the other elephant in the room, the update. All right, this update is ranked by multiple YouTubers have all agreed that this update, and including my opinion, I believe in this, but I believe, and so does all these YouTubers, that this update, I think it's called Tara's Bazaar. I'll just call it by the season or by the past name. Tara's Bazaar update. Best update ever. All right?
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Wow. I mean, I think it's
high praise there.
I think the top 3 updates, in my opinion, have to be. The third one would probably be the global update before the pre-global, because pre-global, even though I wasn't around for then, it switched Brawl Stars from being a 2D game into a 3D game. Actually, being able to see it in 3D. It released Leon, of course, and then it also released it on global. So that was like the major update. The second update, I believe, that is the second most important, is the second Star Powers update. So that brought in Tick, that brought in the second Star Powers, which of course changed the game.
Yeah.
And then now this update, I believe, tops all of that. Brawl Pass, but we're gonna talk about that. That has its own section, but it has Brawl Pass, it has Gale, it has missions, it has Hot Zone back, and it has pins. It has. I think this is like one of the biggest updates we've ever gotten with so much, or that we've ever received with so much good content and so much content in general. And we're gonna talk about that. So the first brawler that we want to talk about, which is the one that came out with the update, Gale. Gale is the newest brawler. Some boomer that works for Mr. P, which is canon.
A boomer.
He is the new rarity as well. How did I forget? Chromatic brawler, the newest legendary, the newest type of brawler came also with this update, which is Gale. He's the newest chromatic and the first chromatic brawler. His attack is
now for those boomers who are real boomers. What is a chromatic?
Okay, so the chromatic is the newest rarity coming to the game, which is as rare as, or is high. No. Statistically getting them, he is as rare as a legendary brawler.
Okay.
And it goes down each update. So after this Tara's Bazaar season, his rarity is going to move down to a mythic.
So it's going to be easier to get.
And then if you don't get him in the next season, the season after that, he's going to be moved down to the next rarity below. I think it's either super rare or epic. He's going to move there until you get him. He's going to stay at an epic rarity until you receive the chromatic brawler. And that's what is important about these chromatics, is that over time you will get them. Which I find really, which is like, congrats to Supercell making this game more free-to-play friendly. Yeah. And then, so that was the big. So Gale,
that's always kind of been a criticism of ours too, is that a lot of times you have to spend a lot of money to try to even do anything with it, because when it comes down to it, you have a situation where not everybody has the ability to be able to pay
money for the game.
$100 for 300 stupid gems or something.
Exactly.
And they don't want to, they want to be able to play the game, enjoy it, try to keep up with everybody else, even though that there's people out there who are going to play, and they're going to pay every dime they can because they want to get to the end or they want to accomplish, everything before everybody else. So.
Yeah. And I think that's a really fair opinion coming from both me and him, because Dad, he's played the game predominantly free to play. Dad has never really spent that much money on the game. He's considering getting the Brawl Pass. He hasn't had it yet. But me, I'd consider myself in the game a heavy spender. Like, I spend at least over triple digits on this game. I bought the Brawl Pass, and I've been...
if we're talking about, keeping up with what's new on the game, yeah, you do.
I've been
you've got every update. You've purchased.
I've always gotten each brawler as the update.
Now, you're not going and buying a bunch of gems and maxing out all your guys and stuff. You're actually playing the game.
I'm playing the game, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of other people.
Yeah.
So with our opinions, I think we're like kind of in the best situation, because I play the game and I spend a lot of money. You play the game, but you spend only a little bit of money, if at all. So we're gonna talk about actually the free-to-play friendliness with this update. I guess we could talk about the Brawl Pass as well as the Hot Zone. I was trying to make the update, and then talking about the update, and then talk about the Brawl Pass, two separate little categories. But you can't really talk about one without talking about the other. So we might as well include Brawl Pass under this little category area. So with this Brawl Pass, a lot of speculation was in the air when it was announced. When it was...
No, go ahead, keep going.
When it was announced, everyone assumed that this was, like, gonna doom Brawl Stars, because this could have gone horribly. Supercell could have made the decision to make it expensive. Like, they could have made it as expensive as Fortnite's. Okay, let's be fair. This Brawl Pass idea is not a new idea.
No.
Games in the past have done this before. Pretty much the first one to do it successfully, I think, was Fortnite. Fortnite introduced the Battle Pass, which is essentially what the Brawl Pass is. And the reason why it came to Brawl Stars wasn't because of Fortnite's success with it, but it was because of Clash Royale's and Clash of Clans' success with it. Over the past year, I believe, they've had I forgot what it's called for them. I'm just gonna call it the Clash Pass. I don't know what it's called. So the Clash Pass for them worked, and it brought in a lot of money, which is what made Clash of Clans still, after 10 years of being released, the top grossing game in the App Store over Android and Apple. It was the top grossing one. And because of that, Brawl Stars is in the situation where it wasn't really monetizable at the start. You have skins, you have brawlers, and you have boxes that you can unlock with star powers. I mean, not with, but you have boxes that you unlock for star powers, gadgets, and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, that was it. Monetizable, like if you're talking about a monetizable game, it needs to have more content than that. Which is why Supercell in this update, I should say Brawl Stars in this update, added in so much more stuff that you could do to get to have this game actually monetizable, but still free to play friendly for the free to play players. That's why they introduced chromatic brawlers, not only available, but available for free for the people that pay for the Brawl Pass. They've also included pins in the game, which is basically, our dog is scratching. They introduced pins that allow for you to use them in club chat at the moment, or not in club chat, in chat at the moment. Supercell is working on getting them to be able to use them in game, which will be interesting to see people spamming that all the time.
Yeah.
So hopefully they add in a button where you can mute chat, or you can only see pins from your friends in the game, stuff like that. So they added in that, and then they also added in missions, which I'm really happy about. Missions give people like me, a reason to actually play the game. Because over a while, in my little hiatus on YouTube, I was losing interest in Brawl Stars. And it wasn't because it was getting boring, but it was because it was getting stale. It
was getting monotonous. Yeah, it was the same thing.
We received a new update, which is fun. Each update is fun. But over time, it's pretty much the same thing. Play the game only to collect your star tokens for the day. Play the game to try to push this certain brawler over. Play the game to unlock the new brawler. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and that was kind of my issue too, is that I would play it and something new would come up and I would be all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'd play it for a while, and when I first started playing, you know, if you're not familiar with the story of me and the situation with Pops and Gramps here, we were separated where Chris was back in Arizona and I was here in Alaska, and so one of the ways that he and I could socialize, I guess you can say, was through the game. We could, you know, I mean, obviously we could, you know, we could
Call,
chat and we
text.
can talk and we can do video chat and all that other stuff. But you know, it was fun to just do it this way because you know I knew how we played. We had fun with it, whatever. And so I would be, you know, sitting in my room, you know, in my apartment, and he'd be over there at home doing it. And so, you know, they moved here, and so, you know, we still kind of play. But
He didn't
so
have
for
a reason.
me, I didn't really need to go and do it anymore because he was here. We were able to do our thing. And so every once in a while, you know, they'd come out with their new update, or they'd come out with a new brawler or something. And so Chris was like, you know, you should get it, you should do it. So fine, I would sit down, I would play for, I don't know, a month, month and a half maybe,
At least a half of a
and
month
then
or
I start
something.
to lose interest again. And that happened with every update. That happened with every new brawler.
Yeah.
I mean, once I got the new brawler, I was kind of like, whatever. I mean, I'm still 4 or 5 brawlers that I don't have, I think.
Yeah.
And Chris has them all.
I have,
And-
yeah, I have him on now that I have Gale. Let's go, gamers.
So he just got Gale this early
Early
overnight.
this morning at like 2 a.m. in the morning. I got him.
Yeah, so you know, you need to, in order to keep a game fresh in the minds of the players, especially players that play a lot and the ones that are able to accomplish getting all the brawlers, you know, getting a lot. I mean, like Chris and like some of the top players in the world, they go out there and they knock it out fast. I mean, they get everything quickly. They've maxed out their accounts.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you keep this thing running fresh? And so the Supercell people that are, you know, the creators of this game, they have to really sit there and go, okay, this
What
next
can we do to keep our
update
players
has to
playing?
be, it has to be outstanding. We have to do something. Because what happens once we start to lose our players because they've maxed out their accounts, they're bored with the game, there's nothing really fresh.
Well, and to disclose something, that's not the case. Like, that's not the point or the case with every game. Like games like that have no point, but they're more creative type games like Minecraft and stuff. Those games you could play forever and not lose interest because you could do anything in the game.
Yeah.
But certain games like Brawl Stars, where like you have to go out, collect brawlers, play the games only for the tokens and all that. Eventually, I said that weird. Eventually, you don't have to play the game every single day, or you don't have to play the game for a certain amount of time because you will eventually max out your account.
Yeah, so like you said, it gets stagnant.
Exactly. And then because of that, Supercell, like Dad said, they had to figure out a way to make that not happen with this game. And the way that they solved this was pretty genius. I mean, it was an idea that everyone had from the start, but it was an idea, basic idea that was needed. They put in missions into the game. And in my opinion, I find that really fun because, for example, with me, I play the brawlers. I play certain brawlers that I like, and I also play game modes that I like. And because of the new missions in the game,
which I'm sure more than half of the players that ever play the game do the same thing.
Exactly, they only play the brawlers and they only play the game modes that they're comfortable with. But now with the missions, if you want to succeed in the game, you have to play those missions. And with me, I had to play, like, there's some where I have to do, like, 300,000 points of damage with Mortis over time. Not in a game, because that's impossible. But you have to do weird missions. Like, I also had one where I had to win 6 Siege games. And if you guys know, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is everyone's opinion on the game. Siege kind of sucks.
Or most
players,
everybody.
yeah. Siege is, in my opinion, one of the worst game modes ever in Brawl Stars. And they have it where you have to play it. And because of that, it forces you to play it, and it forces you to get better. And because Siege is so hard, I don't, okay, personally, or if I'm taking a look at this from like a step back, Siege probably isn't that bad. It's just the fact that it's kind of hard to understand to play that game. There's a lot of stuff that has to go into playing Siege that you have to understand. And because of the missions that you're given, you're forced to play Siege, and you're forced to get better at Siege.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's also really good, and the same can go for the brawlers. You're forced to be better with that brawler because you have to learn how to play it to win the mission. And I think adding mission was just brilliant. It was a thing that should have been at the start, because you would have probably more active players. But now that they've done it, they're probably going to still, they're going to see those numbers go up. They're going to see numbers for, like, games that no one play, like Siege, go up, and, like, Bounty and all that. So I found it good. One gripe, though, that I have with missions that everyone has, and I don't like being the one to complain. Like, if I do complain in the game, it's more than likely probably just for either me being dramatic for a video or me just making a joke. But one thing that I actually have a gripe with is the fact that and I'm not trying to be complaining, like I said, I'm not trying to complain, but I believe missions come too infrequent. And I don't, again, I want to stress this enough. I'm not trying to complain, because I know Supercell has a lot on their table, especially with this whole Corona working from home thing. I said Corona, I'm probably not going to get this video out, because YouTube is going to be like, no. But anyway, they're working from home. They're under a lot of stress right now. And they always have the community barking up their back, because the community's never happy, but we're getting into that later on in the podcast. They have a lot of stuff they have to deal with, and
the babies of the community.
Yeah, and okay, but
please.
But the missions, in my opinion, come up.
Can I remind everybody? It's just a game,
it's just
right?
A game. It's just a game, guys. Why are you complaining?
Good
no,
Lord.
But it gets annoying because the missions come up way too infrequent, and I would like, because eventually I'm playing the game and I'm in that mindset, like, yeah, I'm doing these missions. It's really fun. I want to keep doing them. And then, like, you only get, like, 2 every single day. And on like, Mondays and Thursdays, you get, like, 6 of them. And, yeah, that's good. I'm not complaining. But I wish there was some sort of way you could get, like, 3 missions each day. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you get, like, I don't know, like, 8 or something. Like, more.
Yeah.
I know that would mess up progression as a whole. It's going to make it, like, really, like, easy to progress. But... and it's probably not going to happen. But I would just wish that there was a more frequent way to have missions show up and to do missions, because I really enjoy doing them, and having missions, like I stated before, it gets the game more time played.
Yeah.
It benefits Supercell, and it benefits the players
and basically
to play the game more.
And basically it what's the word I want to say? It basically justifies, number one, the need to come back and play it if you want to be successful.
Exactly.
And it also gives a lot of the new players a new perspective on the game,
and how to play
that they've never seen. Yeah.
Like, going back, the new players, in my opinion, like, when I was a new player, I literally only pushed, like, 1 brawler at a time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to play the brawlers.
I did the same thing.
And now that they're adding in missions, all the new players will see those and try to go out and actually do them and experiment with the brawlers, see which ones they like, and see which ones, they don't like, but they still have to do the missions for.
Yeah.
So I think I think missions overall, in general, even adding in the fact that they're infrequent, in my opinion, I think overall missions are still such a great thing in the game and a great thing to have. And then another thing with the Brawl Pass is how inexpensive it is. It's only 160 gems or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's $10 in, like, if you count it. And yeah, $10, some people might not want to shell out. But lucky for them, Supercell has it that in the free version of the game, you only have to do 2 seasons in order to get the next season. I think it's, 2 seasons in order to get the next season after that free. And because of that, this makes Brawl Stars, even though it's one of Supercell's top grossing game, it makes this game also super free to play friendly. Like, Dad is probably gonna have probably have way much of a better time doing this, because I heard somewhere, I think Kairos Time said that overall the free to play version of this doubles free to play players progression by like times 2 or like times 4. I forgot the multiplication.
Yeah.
But it basically overall with the Brawl Pass, it progresses progression, and I think it's very good.
Hey guys, quick little thing. I just realized in editing that I didn't disclose the fact that we moved locations, recording locations between these parts. So this next upcoming part will sound a little bit more, I guess, echoey. It's not that bad, but it's gonna sound different. So just, yeah. Alright.
So, Dad, overall, everything combined, even though it might be hard to rate it, I guess, everything combined with the content, the missions, everything. What do you believe this update is out of 10? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best.
I think for people that have been playing it for a while, that are gamers, that are really into it, I think for them it's going to be like a 9.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that can be said for what they did to make this game interesting again.
Yeah.
I think for somebody like myself who comes back periodically, who wants to see if it's new, to see if it's something fresh, or if it's something that's going to mess with my, short attention span and end it quickly.
Yeah.
I would say that right now I'm a tentative 6 to 7.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm waiting to see if I can find something that's going to just keep me playing.
Yeah. That's
fair. And I'm not there yet, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, I guess, looking at it, because Dad basically sees it, not to, bash on him, but Dad basically sees it as an overall point of view. With me...
I pay for your games.
But with me, I watch YouTube videos, I watch content about it, I see all the stats and everything, and in my opinion, I think it's a 9, but because of how much... Not because of how much, but because of the little stuff that they could improve on. For example, the community, unfortunately, this monstrous community, they're hard to please. But there are a few things that they do bring up that is a valid criticism. For example, the infrequency of missions. I understand that it's going to be hard to have more missions, but work on the progression in a way that it's not unbalanced and super overpowered for the people that have the time. And also, I forgot to mention this, but the pin packs, they serve no use at the moment.
I don't even understand what those are for.
And they're worth 50 gems. If you do the math, you need, if you buy 3 of them, that's enough to be, that's $10 if you want to buy 3 of them. They're not worth it, in my opinion.
Because I don't even know what they're for.
Exactly. And at the moment, they can only be used in, not even club chat. They can only be used in team chat. And most of the time, you're not in the team, you're not, in the lobby just talking to people. You're playing the game. So at the moment, pin packs aren't really worth it. No. So actually, with that included, I think that, bumps this. I think it's a really great update. Because of how much they can improve on, I think it's this update, even though I said it was one of the best, I think it's an 8.5 out of 10. And to be fair, there's no such thing as a perfect update. A perfect update would probably be 3 new game modes, 5 new brawlers, all this stuff, everything good, everything is balanced. And that's probably not going to happen for a while now. So, out of in total, I think it's an 8.5 out of 10.
You basically need a new game.
Exactly, to get a 10 out of 10. So, that is the update talked about. Mm-hmm. But one thing that one thing that we did not include is the fact that we got a new environment as well. Tara's Bazaar, which is also the name of the new Brawl Pass that has been introduced. Tara's Bazaar is the newest environment that that was hinted at way since the Halloween update and the animation that Supercell released, or that Brawl Stars released on their YouTube. Sorry, our dogs are being weird. But on the animation of the Halloween update that they posted on their YouTube channel, you could see in the background a Egyptian-themed building, one of those Russian ones with the weird bulge at the top and then the point.
That would be Russian.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was Egyptian, of course, but you know what I'm talking about. So they hinted at that. So the community knew that we were going to be getting a Egyptian-themed update because with each update they have a theme around them, and also there's groups of brawlers that also have themes. So we had Jean, Sandy, and Tara. So we knew we were going to get either a new brawler that was Egyptian themed or just a theme that's Egyptian themed. And we got that. We got Tara's Bazaar after a couple of months since the Halloween update. And in this, something important happened. In this environment, something weird was there. If you loaded into the game you would be able to see something flash for a quick second. And the only way to see it flash in full is by moving up into the map and going onto the left side of the wall and seeing something light up. And that thing that was lighting up was a Morse code machine. And Morse code, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm pretty sure if you keep up with the Brawl Stars community, you at least know a basic sense. Morse code is a way of communicating without words, basically. It's dots and dashes.
Yeah, I think everybody in the world knows Morse code.
So, and Morse code can be portrayed in multiple ways. It could be portrayed in lights, it can be portrayed in blinking, sounds, and written. And that's what it was happening in Brawl Stars. It was blinking. It was a light blinking. Do it?
What's Morse code for this?
My dad is drinking beer. He's
That's a soda.
I mean, yeah, YouTube. It's a soda. Anyway, so it was a Morse code machine. And the person who originally discovered it, with me, I don't play 3v3 matches that often. So I didn't see it. Yeah. If I would have saw it, I know a basic sense of Morse code. I know how to say a really bad word in Morse code, which I'm not going to say. Basically, I know Morse code. And I would have been able, I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
You might have got something.
But I might have been able to see it. But I don't see it. I didn't notice it until I saw a Reddit post.
Anyway,
r/Brawl Stars. It was posted on there. A person, I forgot the name, I'll put it up on screen. They discovered that there was this Morse code machine, which no one... Okay, this quick side rant. How did no one notice this? Brawl Stars has over 10 million players. That's lowballing it. They have over 10 million players. Not one of them saw it until that Reddit post. So anyway, that Reddit post got a lot of stuff sparking, alright? Let's just say. The Morse code that was portrayed showed WKBRL.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying, oh, that might be abbreviations for something. People were saying that it sounded like Week Brawl, like Week of Brawl, Brawl Week. They thought it was that. Because BRL undoubtedly stands for Brawl. But the WK is where it comes into question. No one seemed to be saying that it sounded like a radio station. And that was the first thing that showed up in my mind. I remember the day, a couple days ago, where I saw this Morse code that that was posted on Reddit, and I went straight to my dad and I said, everyone is saying that this might stand for Week of Brawl, or Brawl Week, and no one is considering the fact that it sounds like a radio station. And if you actually, I don't know radio stations.
You asked me basically, does WKBRL sound like a radio station or something? And I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, because all radio stations start with WK.
Mm-hmm. And I said that. And I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? It doesn't make sense why they would say radio station. And I was thinking, I asked Dad today, do you think that is actually, a real radio station that you could
today,
find?
You asked me, 3 days ago.
Exactly. And, he was like, no, because Brawl Stars, even though Brawl Stars is, even though Supercell is a wealthy company.
Oh, this you did ask me.
Well, yeah. Even though Supercell is a wealthy company, they probably would not spend the time or the money to actually invest in an actual radio station that you can find in the world. So I was like, so that was that. But that's the talk. But anyway, so it was recently found out on Reddit that there was a live stream that was been going on. I'll post it on the screen since April, before Tara's Bazaar was announced. And in that was just the weirdest stuff that you would find. It was a radio station. It was a live stream on YouTube. And on the picture, it was not a still image because there was stuff moving, but it was an image or a loop, I guess, an animation of a radio signal strength meter, a weird pulsar thing that controlling a pulse. It kind of looked like a heartbeat, but I might be wrong. And then Pam's necklace. And then then a tape.
Those are frequency waves.
Exactly. And then a tape that said WKBRL. And that basically proved that it was symbolizing a radio station. Mm-hmm. But that's not the way. Okay, Supercell was doing this fun little Easter egg. It's a little radio station that might have been playing Brawl Stars music.
Yeah, probably playing snippets of the game or
exactly audio files, new music that would be released,
or some epic game that someone played or something, right?
But oh boy, was I wrong. This thing, all right. If you go on there right now, I'll link it below. Which is gonna be hard to link because it's such a weird, obscure thing. It's like if music came out of hell. Now I'm of course exaggerating it, but it's undoubtedly very creepy. I'll play an audio clip of it now.
The sounds that come out of it are basically one of those cursed videos on YouTube.
Exactly.
That's pretty much all it is. It's just creepy little sounds, and then every once in a while they'll do some like really obscure sounding type of snippet of Brawl Stars music. I think they're doing it on purpose. I think they're just trying to mess with people.
They're hinting at something.
Yeah.
And this is of course brought on by the Brawl Stars team because it had been going since before WKBRL was announced on Tara's Bazaar.
But either they have did you say is it a loop?
It's a live stream. It's an animation loop, but with different sounds. Like the sounds aren't in a loop.
So it's actually actively being it's
audio
actively
is being in. And
the audio is actively being played by something. It's not like it's just a loop of music
because
they do 2 hours of something, then they do 2 hours of the same thing over and over.
Because unfortunately, I'm ashamed to announce, but yeah. I was on that live stream yesterday for more than 2 hours, and within that 2 hour period,
let me explain something here. Yesterday, we drove out to a cabin out in Talkeetna.
Yeah. A town in Alaska for anyone not knowing.
Beautiful small town, very touristy, but it's awesome. Anyways, we're out here. We have this massive view of Denali, or Mount McKinley, that other people might call it. I mean, we're sitting here right off the deck of this cabin, and you could see in all its glory this,
beautiful mountain landscape.
The tallest mountain in North America. I mean, with all these beautiful green trees, everything. It's gorgeous out here. A little bit of rain here and there, but otherwise it's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
And this boy is sitting here for 2 hours listening to this obscure, crazy thing because that's how dedicated he is to this dadgum thing. So
hey, I'm in it for content, okay?
I'm going to tell you this much. You better make something out of yourself because Brawl Stars, if it don't work for you, you ain't staying at home, buddy.
Exactly. But I was on that thing for more than 2 hours during yesterday, and it wasn't looping. I made notes. I had notes on my phone. Every time a sound played, I wrote down the time, and those sounds, even though they were played multiple times, they didn't happen at the exact same time.
They didn't happen within a certain span of time.
Exactly. Yeah. So it wasn't a loop, and it wasn't in order. So it wasn't a loop. And so that was just confusing. But the thing is that music that was playing sounded so obscure. At like some points, it was playing like someone screwing in something. Another time, it was glass breaking. Another time, it was Brawl Stars music in a theme of a carnival, which we'll get into in a sec. But it was played and then played backward in reverse. And at one point, there was like a high pitched. I don't want to say scream, but it sounded like just like if someone was screaming,
like a squeal,
really high pitched, and someone only got like 0.5 of a second down of that scream. That's what it sounded like. And it was just the weirdest thing, and it would get me because it was playing some weird suspenseful, not music, but sounds, and then it would play the scream, and it was such a weird
It's
thing.
eerie,
and it's still going on. Like you guys can go click it now, you can watch it, and it's just really eerie. And most of the time, it's just static, which is the scary part because it's just static until it plays a random audio file.
Yeah,
and it's interesting. I don't know what it's hinting at because for me, I thought Brawl Stars was just a fun little. I thought it was just a fun little mobile game. This is way too much for me.
You had no idea that Brawl Stars was actually originated through the Illuminati.
Exactly.
Devil worship.
Yeah. Satan. Supercell. Actually, why do you think it starts with an S? Satan. So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Satan cell.
No. Supercell sold. They're sold to Satan. See?
So it
makes sense.
So it's Satan cell.
Exactly. Satan cell. So,
I think we figured it out.
We figured it out, guys. So it's a really weird thing. I personally have no clue what that means. The only thing that's been weird is that I'm pretty sure it might be an alt account because of how easy it is to replicate this person's name on livestream. Because this person's name is dash with a white profile picture. Oh, I spat. Sorry. It's a white profile picture and a bunch of underlines.
Let me ask you a question. Does this person have anything else on that?
Nothing else on the channel. No subscriptions.
Wow.
No saved playlists.
No subscriptions?
No subscriptions.
He didn't subscribe to
it's
nobody?
Just...
But you have a bunch of people. And see, the other thing, too, is there's an active live chat that's going on constantly.
So chat is talking about it.
People are listening to it.
People are trying to figure out what it is. But every now and then, I'm pretty sure it might be another account because of how easy it is to replicate their account. But it's the same person with a similar name with the same white background saying weird suggestive things. Like, for example, I took a screenshot of one thing that they said, and it's really eerie. Okay, it sounds stupid, but it said, Pam was feeling worse and worse. She started to lose control of herself. ... She couldn't move in a couple of days. What happened to her? Am I in shock? And then another one said, I think so that we lost her. But how? Dash nurse. So they're suggesting that Pam is dead. And the funny thing is that also what supports that is you can see on the radio station Pam's locket. Or people are saying it's the same locket that Nani has, the newest brawler coming into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same locket that they have that also Jesse has. So it makes sense that if they're talking about Pam,
it almost suggests then that they're going to kill off Pam if this person is associated
the
with
the channel that's
Supercell
live
at all.
streaming. Yeah. I'm sure the channel is associated. I can't tell for sure if the person commenting all of that is associated and is the same person. But another thing that I want to just talk about briefly, because I don't think it contributes anything, but typically when it comes with Brawl Stars naming brawlers, they name it after something that correlates with that brawler. For example, Gale wins, Dynamite, Brock, Rocket, all that. But the weird thing about Nani, the newest brawler coming, is that her name is Nani. And Nani in Japanese, or I don't want to be racist, I'm pretty sure it's Japanese, but in some Asian language, Nani stands or means what? And that just doesn't make sense to me. It's a robot. You could have named it like Junkie Janker, I don't know, the YouTuber. You could have named it literally anything that has to do with robot, but they decided, or at least what was dug up, because she hasn't been officially released or officially announced. Her name is Nani. That makes... What? Literally, what? That doesn't make sense. And I think the reason why it correlates is because what's happening right now is confusing. It's making people go, say what? You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's making people confused. And that's just a brief little thing I want to talk about that I don't really see people talking about. Why name her Nani if that has nothing to do with that she's a robot? So that's just what's happening with WK Brawl. I'm excited and I can't wait to see how or what follows this. Because at the moment, people are tweeting at Frank, the community manager. People are tweeting at Ryan Lighton, and they're tweeting at Danny. All the heads of Brawl Stars, and none of them are responding. They respond to other comments, but they're not responding to ones that are talking about WK Brawl.
WKBRL.
So it's just interesting what's happening. I can't wait to see how this progresses. But going back to the Carnival theme,
this is some Area 51 stuff right here.
Okay, out of all, quick little side rant. I've never been a part of any internet cookie hunt, I guess you could say, Easter egg hunt. I've never been a part of this. There's been ones in the past, and I find with Fortnite, where they actually had a real Fortnite burger show up in one of the deserts of Nevada. I find that really interesting. And so with this, I'm gonna try to be following this as best as I can. I was looking up WK Brawl on copyright, see if Brawl Stars actually owns the right to WK Brawl, see if they're trying to do anything with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking up. I'm trying to find out. I can't find anything yet, but I'm gonna try to keep y'all informed with everything that I find in the future. So yeah, out of all that, out of everything, what do you rate this little egg hunt as? What do you rate this?
Again, you want me to rate it? I think it's intriguing. I think it also kind of falls in the line with a lot of things that we've seen in the past. Right now we know with the entire world basically going through this pandemic thing that people are looking for ways to be entertained or looking for ways to continue to be entertained.
Yeah.
Because, for the first couple weeks you're talking about streaming every movie that you can find.
Yeah.
Then you're trying to find ways of trying to keep your mental capacity there and trying to keep yourself mentally strong.
Yeah.
And then, they're looking to try and open up different parts of the country or different parts of the world. And so they're talking about, being smart, being careful and being smart about how you handle this and all. So there's a lot of craziness, a lot of psychosis that's kind of going on in this world.
Yeah.
And, I have a feeling that this is kind of just a way of keeping people mentally moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like we were talking about the game becoming stagnant, life can become stagnant too.
Exactly.
It can be a situation where you're just kind of like, well, what do I do now? I don't have anything to do,
Yeah.
And so it gives somebody like yourself, especially you yourself, because now you're going into summer vacation after you literally went to school for
a week, like 3 weeks.
We didn't even. You're in school for like 6 weeks at home.
Yeah.
So you had something to do there, but let's face it, and I'm sure most people throughout the nation and maybe throughout the world that actually had to sit there and put in 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours of school before they're like, okay, I'm done for the day.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I think.
So I think that it's another way of just kind of keeping you. One, I think it's a way of keeping you mentally working, but also kind of keep you almost like, what's really going on? You know? I mean, it's intriguing.
They're clearly doing something with this. Like, this is leading up to something. But for the time being, this is a really good distraction. And I believe that that's true. Like, this is, like, honestly, a really nice, cool... Like, I think this is a fun witch hunt. Egg hunt. And I'm excited to see where this goes. But
again, our track record in predicting these things, we're like 0 for whatever. So.
Hey, no. I predicted Rush Wars was going to close, and it did. So...
True.
COVID.
One out of 40.
Exactly. One person's a big fan. Anyway, so we talked about WKBRL, and in there we talked about an amusement park theme to Brawl Stars. That was a theme song. It sounded like a carnival version of Brawl Stars, and I'll play it right now. Interesting, amazing stuff. Anyway, so basically there was an amusement park sort of carnival for Brawl Stars theme that happened in the game, and that hasn't really been a new thing ever since. Like I remember back before COVID started, the first like couple of week or months that we moved to Alaska, someone created a theory about all the interlocking themes to Brawl Stars. Now, for example, this person pointed out the fact that if you really like take an in-depth look at the game, all of everything that shows up could be explained under the umbrella of that. I don't know if that made sense, but under the umbrella that everything in Brawl Stars is just either a carnival or a theme park. And in my opinion, I think that makes sense because Ryan Lighton, the community manager, he even said himself that Brawl Stars has a specific theme that everything is under, but no one has yet
nobody's been able to figure it out.
Yeah, solved it before that guy said that. Since then, I believe, to my knowledge, I've looked at Ryan's tweets and all that, he hasn't announced that the carnival thing is true, and nor has he denied it. So he's been ignoring it.
Yeah.
So this might be a true thing. This might actually be what it is. For example, I have a bit notes down. The person that pointed this out, if I can find him, if I can find them, I'll credit them with under their Reddit because like I couldn't find it right now, but I'm pretty sure I can find it if I really look for it. But anyway, so why can't I talk? Some things that they pointed out that's a theme is that one, in the Brawl Days pirate update, we were given a new map. The pirate ship. In that concept, so let me give you some content. No, what is it like? Backstory? What is it called?
Backstory.
No, okay. Well, let me give you a backstory. That's not the word I'm looking for. But let me give you some backstory. So the art designer for this name is called. I know his name. I follow him on Instagram or on Twitter. The name of the guy, I'll say later, because I'm going on Twitter. But the dude who is in charge of doing all of the art design for it, his name is Paul Chambers, I believe. He had originally drawn the original concept for the pirate ship to actually be real tentacles, a real kraken attacking the ship. But when they released it, they decided to go with a animatronic tentacle thing. Mm-hmm. And you can see that it clearly is a robot. They're not trying hard to hide it. Like, you can see the joints, and you can also see how a robot would move because they don't move in a certain way.
It's real mechanical.
Exactly. So that's the thing. They decided to go with a robot, more so an animatronic, rather than an actual thing, which leads to the theme park. What rides that have themes have animatronics in them and all that. Another thing is, in that pirate ship, you can also see weird little hooks, like fences. Me and Dad were trying to figure out the name of those little dividers. I'll show a picture of them now if I can find them. They have little dividers blocking off where the captain would control the ship. You know, the steering, I forgot what it's called. The steering wheel of the ship is blocked off by prefabricate. Speaking is hard, but they're basically blocked off with stuff you wouldn't find in a pirate ship. Actually,
You're talking about those partitions like the movie theater partitions. Yeah,
and that's not the first place. That's not the only
barricades.
place where those movie partitions show
they're
up.
barricades, but they're not something that you would have on a pirate ship.
Yes. They're not like partition. That's not the only place where those partitions show up. They also show up in Mortis's mortuary. You can see in like the part in like some of the the art that was released for Mortis's mortuary. You can see actual real partitions. And then if you go in the gem grab maps that I've gone in, you can see more of those partitions, and you can also see tickets. Something that you would order something that you would buy at a theme park to get into certain rides.
Carnival, theme park.
Anything. Yeah, like to go into like a haunted house, you would get tickets, give them, and then you can go in, which is Mortis's mortuary.
Haven't there been some though with like ticket booths too, or like booths that look like a ticket booth?
So far, I've not seen any ticket booths, but like you can see stuff like you could just see tickets scattered all around places where, which is also funny because Supercell removed them from the game, but they're still in the game as what is it called, like background art. So I found that interesting. Another thing is remember when Mr. P was released?
Monsieur.
Remember Monsieur P? Remember when everyone was freaking out that he doesn't look normal. Like he's not a normal brawler.
Yeah.
For example, I know this isn't related, but in Mr. P's winning animation, he jumps up into the air. His head detaches slightly, but also everyone was freaking out about the zipper on the back. Everyone was saying Mr. P is clearly not someone, or not as he says he is. All right. For example, he doesn't talk. He has Gene's little, you know that.
Yeah.
And and the big throwaway, the giveaway is that he's in a zipper. He's clearly in a suit. And if it's a carnival themed, then that would make Mr. P a mascot of a certain thing, you know. And another thing that that the same person pointed out is that Bo, in his newest remodel, he used to have a eagle hat.
He used to have a
eagle's head.
Eagle's
head.
He had a.
And now, in the update, I remember me and Dad were complaining about it. He now has a snapback.
Why does he have a snapback hat?
Exactly. And it would make sense that he has a snapback hat under the carnival theory.
Because he is, as you told me the other day, wearing his own merchandise.
Exactly. He's wearing his own merch. I know there's jokes to be said, like in Spider-Verse, you're wearing merch of your own, like, of you. That's stupid. But that would make sense. He's wearing his own merch. He's wearing a snapback of the Bo hat. So that would make sense.
Of his bow cowl, I think they call it.
Exactly. Yeah. Another thing, one thing that no one is talking about that I am happy to be the first person to say is that...
Exclusive.
For example, say you go to Disneyland, okay? And you go into one of I have never been to Disneyland. Actually, that's a bad example. So you go to Universal Studios. You go to Universal Studios. You're like, oh, wait, do they have live performances there at Universal?
Okay, so say you go to
you go to somewhere that has a live amusement, and they have pretend there's like a fight scene for pirates or whatever. They're fighting, and you go there, you pay, and it's a fun time. And at the end, they all bow, they do their little curtsy, and then they get off stage, and then the cheer crowd. Okay, this is horrible leading up to it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that at the end of each match, it's no surprise. People boo and people they cheer.
People boo.
If you lose, they boo. If you win, they cheer. And no one that doesn't make sense. If it's some sort of like Wild West game, why would there be spectators?
If it's an actual physical battle, nobody's gonna sit there and cheer for you.
Exactly, no one's gonna be there booing if you lose. No one's gonna be there cheering if you win. If this is a theme park, I have a theory, a game theory, if you will, that each match in Brawl Stars, especially the ones in Brawl, because there's actually an audience there. I believe that every single match in the game is a live performance that the carnival or that the amusement park would put on. It would make sense because live performances happen in theme parks all the time, and that's what I believe that each match is.
So what you're saying is that you don't believe that these are actual battles you're going through. You believe they're performances.
Yeah, even though you do like win them.
You're putting on a show.
Yeah, it's a show.
Regardless of the end.
End goal.
It's a show.
Regardless of the trophies you win, regardless of the prizes, it's a show.
Basically, what you're saying is you're going to the Renaissance Fair, and there's live shows and there's battles, but in the end, the performers know who's going to win, but the people that don't are the people playing the game.
Exactly. And then also another really like subtle thing that everyone noticed is the Ferris wheel at the loading screen of the game. Since the Brawler Days update, Supercell has been changing up their loading screen. But when like Brawl Stars was initially released, they had the same loading screen of Shelly, Colt, and Poker running, and in the background you can see a Ferris wheel. Okay. Which is a dead giveaway of like an amusement. And I remember talking to Dad, I was like, why is there a Ferris wheel if this game is an amusement park? Also going even far back to when the game went global, when they released their animation of the trailer that got No Time to Explain.
Yeah.
In there, even though it's Wild West, you still see neon lights pointing to stuff. You see neon lights, you see Barley's Cafe, you see all of this stuff that wouldn't be naturally there, of course, in a Wild West theme. Thank you. So yeah, basically, it's not a Wild West game, nor is it my old theory about it being in Sonora, Mexico.
By the way, Emma, thank you for being here.
Oh, Emma is our live audience right now.
I want to say something that this game seems a lot darker than.
I know this game actually
does seem kind of dark, right?
It's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, like this game clearly is not just a simple little MOBA. There is probably some actual storyline behind this, and I'm excited to see how this will turn out. So another thing, that's basically summing up. Now we're going to be talking about the Supercell make. All right, and the only reason why I'm talking about this is because of the Brawl Stars community. Now
the Supercell what?
Supercell make. Remember the campaigns that they have now.
Okay.
So Supercell decided, hey, let's do a fun little thing about people being cool. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I just lost my train of thought. Okay, I found it. Never mind. So Supercell make is a campaign that Supercell puts on that allows community-made skins to go into the game by the community voting for them, whoever's the best. And then Supercell will come in and pick their suggestions,
their supposed favorites.
Their favorites. So, the people that won were Mike Blue G with RGVillain B and Kent 2D with Zombibi. Wow. And apparently, I know, wow. And apparently, the babies, the free-to-play babies, that their mommy doesn't allow them to use their credit cards, they're getting a little butthurt over the fact that one of the top voted people, they didn't win, and that they haven't announced the superheroes. All right, and I have a little gripe with that. Even if none of the superheroes was picked. All right, because I'm pretty sure they will announce 2 other heroes. But even if none of the superheroes were picked, that was not a requirement. That's not what Supercell said that they would put into the game. The theme was that Supercell would put the theme was supervillains and superheroes. That you had to make a skin based off of those two based off of one of those criterias. They did not state that they would add in both a superhero and a supervillain. They only stated that they would choose whichever one they found fit. And another thing, a lot of people are quick to bash on these skins. Like, I personally am a huge fan of Archvillain B. But a lot of people were saying that it looks so horrible and that it's so bad. And then people were talking about Zombie not being like the other heroes that won. And personally, that's kind of like a spin in the face of the people that made them. I think Mike Blue G and Kent 2D made really good skins. I mean, these are what they look like. Yeah. And the thing that just gets me annoyed is that this community, your fantasies can never be quenched, can they? As that kid would say. I think the community of Brawl Stars, unfortunately, I've said this in the past. You play a kid's game, there's going to be kids that play that game. Yeah. And these kids are a loud minority. They complain about everything. They complain, like I said, they complain about not getting enough missions, which I was doing, but not because I'm not saying Supercell was a horrible company for doing that, which they do. They talk about how bad Supercell is. They talk about how they can't afford the Brawl Pass. They talk about how they can't get all these skins that they want. But in the end, what these kids seem to forget is that in order to have a game running, and in order to keep employing people to further create that game and make it better for everyone in the long run, is that they have to have this game. This game has to be monetizable. And unfortunately, these children, they don't seem to notice that. They don't seem to understand the fact that Supercell has to make money in order for the people that can't pay money to play the game without needing money, if you understand what I'm trying to say. I just really hope if they see this video, if any of the people that complain about Supercell not making this game free-to-play friendly, if they see this, just know, alright, watch a Kairos Time video talking about the free-to-play progression. It's a fact. This game is the most free-to-play friendly game that Supercell has, that they've created. Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, you can spend hundreds of dollars without maxing out progression on this game. And that's not the case with Brawl Stars. I think Kairos Time said, like if you pay only a couple of like $20 at least per every 2 months or something for the Brawl Pass or whatever, you can probably max out your account in a year or two, and that's way better than Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. And that's just what I'm saying. This game is not free to play, or pay to win. This game is not pay to win at all. Like me, I pay a lot, but I'm still trash at the game. It doesn't make me any better at the game than a person that pays nothing does. All right? And that's just my little rant, okay? Mm-hmm. That's my little rant with the community. Just stop hating, all right, everybody? I sound like that little kid. Remember that yelling kid that I showed you?
No.
Yeah, I sound like him. But basically, guys, stop hating. And yeah.
You sound like a boomer kid.
I sound like a boomer. I do.
Enough with the...
Stupid millennials wanting everything.
Enough with the complaining.
Anyways, guys, so that's basically all that we wanted to talk.
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds of Pop's Corner.
Okay, I've got
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Count them off. Ready?
All right, okay.
So, there's a lot of people out there in the middle of this coronavirus situation who think that they have a step up on this virus. Oh, God, they think they're smarter than the people.
10 seconds already.
Well, give me 10 more.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
They believe that, since we are opening the country or opening up different parts of the world, their belief system is that because it's opening, they shouldn't take precaution. They shouldn't care. They're okay to go to the stores now without face masks, without taking care of their hands, without doing those things. But you have to understand something, that in lieu of keeping the economy down and keeping people out of work, in lieu of all of that, the best that we can do is go ahead and frequent places that we've been to in the past, enjoy things that we've done in the past, but do it smartly.
And safe.
Be safe.
If you guys can avoid going to parties, if you guys can avoid going to large areas, if you guys can avoid all of that, then do it. Because in the long run, if you guys keep going I saw this video, and it gets me really mad, about those freaking spring breakers in Florida. All these, I think his name was Brady Sluter or something. I can't tell you how just mad these stupid kids make me when they go outside, they party with everyone, and they just don't care. But
the thing
this virus will spread faster if there's more people like him in the world.
Here's the thing about it. Okay, in Alaska, we were lucky because we didn't have to worry about the coronavirus being so widespread for several reasons. One, because when we had our first inkling as a country of the coronavirus making it to the United States, it hit in Seattle heavy. Now, New York and LA were massive.
And so is Arizona.
But for Alaska, Seattle is our main hub.
That's our gateway to literally everywhere else in the lower 48.
So you're talking about basically, if anything's going to get here, it's going to be through Seattle. And so the governor put in place several mandates for health, for all this other stuff, even before they saw their first infection. Alaska's made it to right around 400 infections. 360 of them, if I remember correctly at last count, have recovered. We've had, unfortunately, we've had 10 deaths, but it could have been much worse.
Could have been way worse.
And we only had something like 50 or 60 people that were hospitalized.
And that is because...
hold on, let me finish. Pop's Corner, buddy.
Yeah.
And that is all because we took
Next,
it...
we're going to do Emma's Corner.
No, we're not.
And that's because we took it very serious as a state.
Exactly.
From the governor down. And this is coming from somebody who is neither Republican nor am I Democrat. I am. Hold on. Let me finish.
I really want to say
Let me finish.
Okay.
I'm right in the middle. I choose what my heart and what my brain tells me to choose.
Yeah.
I will
I
never.
choose what my parents told me to do because
I will-
they pay my rent.
I will never in my life sway one way or the other. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm fully 100% independent and not independent
You're an independent.
the political party. So,
Wait, but one thing that I have to say...
hold on. But my point is that the governor did what he was hired to do.
Yeah.
So ultimately, my point is be smart, be safe, enjoy the country that we have, enjoy the life that you have, but do it safely and be smart.
One thing that I just want to quickly add before we end this is that why does Corona have to be a political thing? Why does everything have to be a political thing? I don't want to get canceled, but like this virus shouldn't be a political thing. It shouldn't be a certain thing. It should be something that we can all get together and say this is a problem that we should all fix by doing the proper things. And I don't understand why people are turning this into a political thing. It shouldn't be. We should just be safe all together. Because even if you're someone who I don't agree with politically or I don't believe with your certain views, we should all agree on one thing, that this is a real thing. This is not something that should be taken lightly, and that we should all do our things, everything in our power to stop this, whether that be staying at home or frontline workers. And to all the frontline workers, nothing but respect, of course. Like, y'all are seriously the ones that are actually keeping this everything in the world alive.
If your mom or your dad or your brother or your children are frontline workers,
Or
and that's everybody from everybody that works in the hospitals to the janitors that clean the floors at night, they have to show up.
Exactly.
So you got to understand something. Those people are very special people. If they are that, just give them a hug and tell them thank you.
Yes.
And
6 feet apart, though.
6 feet apart hug.
And you can tell it, no, because it's your family. and you can tell them Pops, and you can tell them Gramps, and you can tell them Emma said thank you. They won't know, they won't care. But it's coming from us in Alaska. Thank you.
And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chris, for being one of those workers during Corona.
I know. Don't mock that. Okay. But anyways, guys, thank you for attending the 4th episode of the Brawl Stars podcast. Hopefully more to come. And we'll see y'all in the next video. Be safe. Don't be stupid. And eat your, I don't know, breakfast.
Wheaties.
Yes. Whatever.
Bye.
Bye.
Heads up, guys, I'm talking to you. Life's not easy, so what you gonna do? Step to the plate and be a man. Never hit a woman or abuse a child. It's just wrong and illegal too. Someday it will catch up with you. Times have changed. Domestic violence will no longer go down and be silenced.